Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age, where we discuss everything nerdy. My name is Mick. With me, as always, are my co-hosts Josh,
What's up?
Corey,
Hello.
and Jonah.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Obviously, we have a little bit of a different setup here.
What?
We're at my house. Surprisingly enough, this is my office. I just I took half my furniture and just threw it in here. And
It's not always like this.
nope.
You're supposed to say Elon Musk is buying the Nerd Age podcast, so we're upgrading. So
Ooh, yeah.
There you go.
That's
more
right.
to come.
That's right.
Yeah, more on that later. But right now, our main topic is going to be about Moon Knight episode 3.
Three.
Episode 3. So I think most of us have seen it.
Yeah.
I don't think Jonah got around to
Guess
it.
who, guys? No, don't say anything. Guess who didn't watch it this week?
Yeah. Everyone's shocked.
But you're in the process of doing house stuff, listing your house.
I'll get to it. I'll get to it, guys. I'll be ready by next
He's a
week.
busy guy. Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys before we start discussing. Was this the best episode of the 3 for you guys?
I think I liked it least out of the 3 so far.
I agree.
Yeah.
I see. I liked it a little bit better than the last episode, just because of the fact that it's revealing, it's informing us of the rules and kind of like what is a god,
Yeah.
what's a little g god,
Yeah.
because and how it works, because obviously like Thor, you're like, oh, he's a god, but why is this guy like hiding / why does this guy not exist just like Thor, but like he's in a different existence,
Yeah.
he's in some other dimension or something like that. Something's there that's keeping him from being there physically. And so I think that's interesting. So I like that aspect of the episode where they're kind of like, we're learning more about the rules of what it is to be a god and like how that works on Earth specifically. And like, especially because in Egyptian times, there's a lot more worshiping of the Egyptian gods, stuff like that. But now it's like toned down a lot. So it makes sense. Because I was complaining about like, man, they feel really pathetic,
Right.
But it's because they just don't have a lot of believers, and so that's the thing that I was missing, was that aspect of, if you have X amount of believers, you have X amount of power. And so I was like, oh, see, that's starting to make...
Is that why the Ethan Hawke characters like has a cult, like to get more followers? Is that
maybe
kind of part of it?
it totally, I think, plays into it. I mean, with any god in existence, it always will. It'll be better or worse depending on your follower number. But
Is that
It's like YouTube.
Is that only
Exactly.
that only
Yeah,
with
more
Egypt-
subscribers.
Is that only with Egyptian gods then? So like it's
No.
not that doesn't do with Thor
No.
it does do it with Thor, I think.
Oh really?
I don't know.
Does it?
Because here's the thing. I had to watch a video, but basically Odin was Thor level, but he had so many believers and stuff like that, and he was super old, right? And he was
Grandpa age,
he was stronger than like any big boss. Like he wasn't celestial, but he was like up at that level of power. And so he must have had more believers because he had tremendous power. And so once he died, then that kind of opened the floodgates, for the end game and all that stuff with the Infinity Stones. But yeah, I'm not sure, because Thor is super young. He's like 1,000 or something years old,
I
like
think he's
1,500.
is
Yeah.
what he said.
So that's really young.
Yeah.
And so I think he has plenty of time to get even stronger, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think we'll probably talk about this more when we get to the Thor trailer, because there's more gods introduced there. So
sure.
it's like you've got all these different pantheons of gods introduced.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was interesting about the episode, was that aspect of it. Also, the aspect that each one has their avatar and they're kind of like, oh, we're not really interfering. We're just kind of here hanging out now.
Yeah.
It was interesting. And just the fact that there were some that were missing. Like that was interesting to me, that it's like, oh, I wonder what the backstory is for those guys. Like, did they get banished? Did they get killed? Kind of a thing.
I think the others might have done what they did to Khonshu at the end.
And that's the thing that bugged me, and that's why this episode's great, is that I was bugged by the reason, like the fact that Black Panther's god, the Panther god, which is an Egyptian god, by the way, like it's related to Egyptian gods.
Yeah.
That one had this mystical representation. Like you go to this like spirit realm and like he like communed with it and stuff like that. And I love that representation of it. And now it's starting to make sense, because I think the Panther god is like a little bit higher than the tier of like Khonshu, and so it's like, I know I watch videos, but like the Panther Khonshu is like a descendant of the Black Panther god. So I was like, oh, okay. So there's like levels of gods even within the god realm. So I think it's good to define like the rules.
But
just so it makes
so
sense.
that video is that getting it from the comics, or is it getting it from other Marvel movies? So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that again,
right.
like that's our thing that we've like that I complain about is like it's not really explained. It's just thrown out there. I think there is like answers to it, but it's like, is it coming? Is that what it is from the comics?
I think that the episodes are on purpose being like mysterious and like you don't understand how it works. And I think near the end it'll start revealing itself.
Okay.
And they might reveal it to the actual audience. I think so. I'm pretty sure, because with other trailers, they're really going for this god themed like phase for MCU or the MCU. So
Yeah, I mean the movies have always taken liberties in areas.
Yeah.
Like there are things that aren't like direct adaptations of how the comics are, and I don't know. I think it could be a good thing, maybe a bad thing in some cases, but I think it's a little bit different. But
let's talk about like the aspect of like the god's avatars meeting in that one area.
Yeah.
Is it
pyramid, right?
Is it in the pyramid?
I think
that's what he said.
Yeah, one of the chambers.
So they like basically you do bad things, or you call out another person or another god, and they all basically communed and talked about it, and they basically just go. And it was just I thought it was interesting, but I also thought it was very frustrating. But it was on purpose. It was supposed to make you frustrated because it's like the bad guy. He's like he can't. You can't prove anything.
Yeah.
Right. There's no evidence of anything. So if anything, Khonshu looks bad in this circumstance.
Yeah, because he's just calling out.
Yeah.
Almost
with no evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just so first of all, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just because I had a higher expectation of what I think like that location should have looked like. It just looked a little
cheap
to me. I don't know if it was like Universal, like. Okay. Disneyland level cheap. I don't know if it was that bad, but it just seemed a little disappointing. And then the whole way that Khonshu was speaking to me, that just got a little goofy.
He was frustrated.
I know what they were going for, but to me, just the execution of it, of him like yelling through Oscar Isaac's character, it just. Especially over and over again, to me, it just got a little too on the goofy side of things.
There was an aspect of like he's not used to being used forcefully without his will.
Yeah,
and so it came out like almost like throw up.
Yeah,
and that's how he portrayed it, and it did come off a little weird, but it also kind of makes sense because, like I said, he hasn't done that before.
Yeah,
so.
I actually kind of liked it.
I was okay with it.
Yeah,
not one way or the other.
I liked it just because it's like. I think Oscar Isaac does a really good job with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was maybe a different actor that doesn't sell it as well, like just the way he was,
it could be like awkward.
He was interpreting it. I think it was. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I think and I think it would have been different if it was like actual Khonshu's voice. You know what I mean? Like it was a little different.
Yeah.
Like it was Oscar Isaac doing the voice kind of a thing instead of like Jonah says, the Venom voice kind of a thing. It was not quite to that level. It was
wasn't
like
as bad,
it was like through a Oscar Isaac filter, basically, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
For me, I thought like they just packed a lot into this episode. It was just a lot to get through, and so I think maybe that's why I didn't really enjoy it that much. I think there was a lot more action. Like if we finally got to the action, but there was a lot of explaining to do, like, okay, this is the gods, and then this is Layla and her relationship and how she shows up, and then you get like their interactions, like kind of a quiet moment, and then it's just like, okay, now we're going over here and we got to get this. So I thought it was like a lot to fit into one episode. So I think maybe that's maybe why I didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
It did kind of, it felt like it was like start, stop, like, okay, we're going to start. This is where we're going. Let's wait. Like exposition. Now let's go, and then more exposition kind of a thing.
Yeah. I can see that.
But story wise, I thought it was really cool. Like having Khonshu actually like, hey, basically like sacrifice himself almost to be like, all right, we need to find this and
we need to stop it.
We need to stop it. So I know I'm in trouble. Basically, like come free me after that, which I thought brought a different aspect to Khonshu that haven't seen before. Because before we're just like, oh, he's kind of the bad guy. Yeah. Really, kind of. He's like, oh, I'm threatening Mark, basically, like blackmailing him to do what I want. But now he's like, okay, well, I'm actually gonna like sacrifice myself in order to achieve this goal, which I thought was kind of a good development in the story.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the series.
Yep. So there's only 6. Yeah,
seemed appropriate for something like that to happen.
Yeah,
this episode. Things I liked about the episode were, I think the action was cool. Seeing Moon Knight take out a bunch of guys was pretty sweet. Just seeing his cape like more feeling alive and organic than just a normal cape is really cool. Blocking bullets,
redirecting them.
I
was like, whoa.
Yeah. I need to do research on his power level, but he seems like almost invincible in a way. I mean, he's getting stabbed by multiple spears all the way through, deflecting bullets. So, I mean, it's cool. I've really liked the combat that they've done. I'll say one thing I didn't like about the combat, and maybe it's something I'm not liking too much about the Mr. Knight character, is he almost comes across as kind of Deadpool-y, and just his mannerisms and his humor, which I've heard a lot of people that are actually big Moon Knight fans have had an issue with that, because in the comics he's very much like a cool, like almost more how he acts as Mark Spector's Moon Knight does, not a goofy,
right,
kind of clumsy guy. But so a lot of diehard Moon Knight fans don't really.
I would love
like
to
that change.
Yeah, I would love to read the comic.
Yeah,
where he makes that transformation, and how long does it take for him to get to that cool collected?
Yeah.
Is it immediate, or is it some transition period where?
Well, because I think the actual personality is, I don't know if it's still Stephen Grant, but it is like a Bruce Wayne type person where he's like a rich guy and he's more of the cool guy. So even that.
So maybe it's an adaptation.
Yeah, because I think for the show, basically they're making Stephen Grant turn into this Moon Knight. So it's like their personality is basically adapted into that character, where in the comics it's not the case, I don't think. So I think it's just like they're basically like, okay, Mark Spector into Moon Knight, they're gonna kind of stay the same, and then Stephen Grant into Mr. Knight, the attitude's gonna stay the same. So I think that's a liberty that they took in the show, which I've heard some people are like, yeah, like it's not like comic book accurate, but it's like an adaptation that they made. Like it's a choice they made, basically.
I mean, it makes sense why they do it. Just, I mean, it does liven it up a little bit. It makes a contrast between the other Moon Knight personas. So I get it. I just don't know if it's really for me.
Well, and is it here to stay? That's the other question. Because will Steven get more battle torn and get more used to this?
Like his suit upgrades. Goes to an Armani suit.
Yeah. It's pinstriped and
coattails.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not bugged by that at all, so I'm interested. Okay. I mean, that's like more hardcore fans, so it's valid. But yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really liked that we got to see the reverse angle of Mark getting taken over.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool because like in the first 2 episodes, you're like, oh man, he just beat up all these dudes. And then in this one, you're like, he's about to beat a bunch of people dude up. Then he's like in a taxi.
It's like, I'm going to the airport.
Yeah. It was like really cool to like see that, the flip side of it. And then I'm interested to see what the third personality is, basically, because he's like, well, I didn't do that. Like that wasn't me. So it'll be interesting to see. I think, what is it? Is it Jake is the third personality in the comics?
That's what they're saying.
He's like a taxi driver or something like that, but obviously like, I don't think he's going to be a taxi driver. Yeah. Another adaptation of, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that third personality in the show, like how they adapt it.
And how does that like go with the fact that now they have to basically save Khonshu.
Yeah.
Is he going to be on board with that? Like, it's crazy that there's 3 different personalities, but
Yeah.
I think that. Do you think there's more than 3?
maybe. I mean, why not?
Yeah. What the heck?
I mean, I think there are.
I'm sure in the comic book there's like
Because doesn't the security guard call him Scotty or Scott or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
yeah,
And he's always like, that's not my name.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not my name. That's not my name.
I wonder if that's
They should have Dr. Pepper
like
sponsor
a. I wonder if that is
Pepper?
on purpose. I wonder.
24 different flavors, right?
23.
23, yeah, 24. Yeah, so I actually enjoyed it, but not like an immensely more amount than the second episode. I think they're pretty close to each other. I still think the first episode is my favorite, but yeah,
It was cool though seeing Khonshu's like almost. I'm assuming like his highest powers actually being applied. So he creates an eclipse,
yeah.
which
I think I saw a GIF of that.
yeah. Did you like it?
Looked cool.
Did it satisfy you? Which I don't know. Have you guys seen the '99 Mummy movie?
Yeah.
With Brendan Fraser? Oh, it's really good. You should check it out. But it had the.
You've never watched The Mummy?
You ever watch Mummy with Brendan Fraser?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, The Mummy?
Yeah.
Or what do you mean 99 Moons? I thought that was the movie you were referencing.
The Mummy
that-
came out in 1990.
Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, I watched it a long time
The
ago.
Mummy
Probably
99.
99. Yeah. I don't-
So it gave me the. I mean, this whole show obviously has that type of vibe, but and then at the end of the episode, he and the Steven persona. I don't know if I buy this because I've heard a lot of people say that what is happening in the scene is Khonshu is literally turning back time. Literally in the sense that he is making the Earth go back 2,000 something years or however.
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
I don't think that that's true though. Like that, I just think the implications of that in the MCU, and this is where I wanted to hear your opinion, but I think that would be way like too absurd.
No, yeah, I don't.
People are saying now like, oh, so Thanos is back, and all these people that are
No
dead are
way.
back. And blah,
There's
blah, blah.
no
I'm like,
way.
I think that is going down the complete wrong road. I mean, good for you for having that opinion, but like, I think
No,
that's
not good for them.
I think
Shame on them.
I think that is.
That's a crazy
I think that's
jump.
wrong. I think it's just like a literal,
I'm taking back this, like, I'm making the sky turn back, basically.
right, and just
It's not
almost
anything.
almost like a
just the
picture,
sky.
just
Yeah.
pictures going back and back. I don't think that it was like turning back time.
It's so weird too because they're like, they even say before he does that, they're like, oh yeah, they haven't moved a lot, but they did move a little bit, and it makes a world of difference. But like, it's not so much to be like worlds different.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it looked very different when he did it, but
Right.
like she was saying, they didn't move that much, but it makes obviously it's inaccurate now. So.
Yeah. That seems like a pretty literal, like,
Crazy. I haven't heard that.
yeah, that
theory.
seems like a pretty literal take of like,
yeah.
oh, he went back in time. You know
He's
what I mean?
turning
I'm
his
like, I
hand.
don't think that would I don't think that's happened.
that is not how
Because
I
it completely
interpreted.
changes, like, you know what I mean? Like, the,
I mean, yeah, that
no.
changes
And then,
everything.
and then the TVA would show up, and fix it.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah, interesting.
That's what I've heard that, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, there's no way that that's what they intended.
The TVA wouldn't have appeared though because they're not around anymore.
But they weren't, and then they went back in time. So, exactly. That's the point.
The,
It's like-
the TVA will always exist in some existence.
exactly. Whenever they want to use them, whenever it's convenient, whenever the story dictates, that's when they'll show up.
I mean, if there's infinite universes, shouldn't there be infinite TVAs?
it's true.
Technically,
Well, there are now, yeah,
yeah.
but they're not doing what they were doing during the Loki because then they were keeping everything from spinning out of control. But now that they killed King the Conqueror or whoever that guy was, everything's open now. So now the TVA is not doing that.
Just hanging out.
Apparently.
They're
Yeah.
on vacation.
Yep.
Pretty nuts.
I did like the last scene. I think it was the last scene, which I forget the Ethan Hawke. I forget his name. Hare, something like that.
Arthur.
Arthur
Harrow,
Harrow. Yeah.
I think,
I liked his like little speech at the end where he's like, talking to Contra, and he's like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, your torment is what drove me to do this.
You
like,
created,
I thought that was a cool, like, it provided a little more context for their relationship, like vaguely, which was like, which I like the kind of like slow drip of information, because that's one of the things I'm mostly interested in. Is like, oh, I want to know more about them. Yeah, little Easter eggs, little crumbs.
Yeah,
just a little nibble.
Like his crackers, and he likes to lick his coffee, slow dripped.
Exactly. So I thought that was cool, and it just made me like his character a little more too.
Yeah, I like the insight into
self-sacrifice.
Clearly, something went wrong.
With
that relationship.
And the self-sacrifice aspect of Khonshu is, it helps a lot. Like it won me over to a degree where I was like really annoyed by that god, and I was like, oh, so dumb, so weird. But then I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So I'm down. I'm excited to see what they have in store for this last half. 3 episodes, and then they have to introduce a couple different things. I'm interested to see if they introduce what they introduce at the end of Moon Knight. Like, are they gonna kind of like make it fit in with Thor, Love and Thunder, or because they're talking about god killing, and why are these gods in a different dimension? And like, there's a lot of questions that need answers. I'm just
do
like,
they need answers though?
Well, for MCU fans,
Did they like? Is there any teases of it connecting to anything else, like larger in Marvel? Like,
so there's definitely King the Conqueror Easter eggs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then there's also been like nods at Christian Bale's character. What's his name?
Gore the
God Killer.
Yeah.
So there are
God Butcher.
who he's in
God Butcher.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they haven't showed us. So I'm actually excited to see what Christian Bale does. I mean, it'll be interesting.
I
saw a leaked picture of
a toy.
Of a toy.
Oh, the Lego.
No,
I saw the Lego.
There is a Lego.
That's a Lego.
He
Weren't
looks
there
like
even
Christian Bale
weren't there even
with
set pictures?
white.
I thought
But
there
he's
was
had a hood on. He can't really tell his face, but he's
We can talk about that when we go over the trailer. But so not bad. It's chugging along. I'm not as excited about this series as maybe. Well, actually, they've been pretty good. They've been kind of even. Like the Loki one was interesting, at least.
Yeah.
So they're different. They're different. They're offering different things.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's a question for you guys. The one thing, for whatever reason, I like intros to shows. That's like one of my favorite things. If a show has a good intro, I'm like, that's sweet.
You'll watch it.
There's no
Like the
intro
Peacemaker
for
show.
Moon Knight.
It's just
Exactly, the Peacemaker intro. Woo! Baby. Put that on
Are you
repeat.
talking like theme song with like
Just like an intro.
images?
Yeah.
and-
a standard.
Song or
Hawkeye had it.
Hawkeye has an intro.
Yeah.
Loki had an intro. It was just like the weird, like changing the fonts. Moon Knight just goes straight from the Marvel intro, and then it goes straight into the episodes.
I mean,
That's like the only one I think that hasn't had an intro.
they really. I mean, they have the end credit, but then all of them have
Right.
end credit stuff.
But there's no like title screen.
Maybe
that
they're
goes
going
through.
that way because the Star Wars shows don't have intros.
They have a title before it even starts.
But I mean, all the other
Right, all the other
have-
MC ones have one. Like even didn't Winter Soldier have one also?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they definitely did. Yeah.
Maybe they're just saving money.
No, they do have the white Moon Knight like logo thing at the very beginning, don't they?
I don't think they do. At least this last one was just the MCU intro, and then it just went straight into the episode. And I'm pretty sure that all of them, like all the episodes, have just gone straight into that.
I even noticed.
I don't remember now.
And I didn't notice
And
that at all.
now that I realize it, the show sucks.
No intro.
Yeah,
How am I supposed to know what I'm watching?
exactly.
I do wish that there's a little bit like maybe more iconic or maybe more unique music. I think that's something that I haven't really been won over by any of the music that they've done for this. And no like defining music where I'm like, that's Moon Knight's theme or anything like that. Like, nothing's really stood out to me.
I mean, I would say overall the MCU lacks that a lot in terms of like,
Star Wars does it really well.
leitmotifs
MCU,
for characters.
not
They
so much.
just
I think this one probably has the best out of all the
compared
out
to
of all
like,
the shows
compared
and
to,
all the
like,
other thing. Like I can
yeah.
hear it in my head like pretty distinctly like the kind of like whatever.
Yeah, they do have a song that they play once he transforms.
Yeah.
Okay, I do actually kind of do like that one. It's at least better than.
But I mean, like, if you think about any of the
Soldier.
other ones, it's like I can't pick out
Loki
tune for like at least for the shows.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of them come off as generic and very forgettable.
Yeah, or just like branches off of like the general.
Yeah, the stuff from the MCU.
Avengers stuff and MCU stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's episode 3, right?
Yeah. I'm still really enjoying the show, and I think so far it's still probably up there as my favorite one. So
Yeah.
far.
I agree.
I like the character, and I like the aspect of the god like dynamic, and I'm excited to learn more about that. So,
Yep.
and why are these other gods like such d-bags?
I know, dude. They look
Like,
like
they didn't
one's a
even give him a
lawyer.
chance, like-
Looks like a lawyer. The other one's like a what are you doing?
One of
I'm like
was
the
a homie.
avatar of
one of
like,
them was a homie, right?
Yeah.
The one lady, the
Yeah.
music god or whatever.
yeah.
Yep.
That avatar, she was cool, but yeah, we'll see. But that'll do it. Hey,
Nice.
you got to catch up.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for her.
next week.
Yeah.
guys.
That's
a
right.
lot to say.
Lots of complaining to
Sure,
do.
yeah. I like these aspects, but I didn't like it.
I'm not going to watch the next one. All right. Well, yeah, that's our take on episode 3 of Moon Knight. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you thought about the episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Bye.